guys, I'm so excited for this video because today we are going to be doing 3 more looks with the new Natasha Denona palette. This is the Circo Loco. I've already done a first impression with this and I had a really good time with it. I will link it if you want to check it out if you haven't seen it already. But we're going to be doing some more looks with this, and the color story, if you somehow haven't seen this, is absolutely beautiful. This is right up my alley. If you're new to my channel, hi, I love color, and this is very colorful. Can you believe that I actually said hi if you're new? I never ever say that. That was weird. That felt very strange. Anyway. This palette is beautiful and I cannot wait to dig in. So I think we're just gonna get started. So I asked in my first impression video what you guys like color combinations that you guys wanted to see, and a lot of people said you wanted me to use like the oranges together with the pinks. So I thought that's what we could do today, which is why I'm wearing like orange and pink, and you know, my hair is orange, so it's just gonna kind of go. So I'm excited. I'm going to prime my eyes with the Natasha Denona eyeshadow base because it is, in my humble opinion, the best eyeshadow primer, because I have tried a lot and this is just the one that seems to work with every single formula for me and I just love it. So I do have a bit of a look in mind today, so I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start with, I'm probably gonna do the orange in the front portion of my crease, move into the pink, and then use the dark purple to deepen it up with. And then I'll kind of see what I'm feeling on my lid after. I'm thinking I want to use this purple shimmer. It looks beautiful. Maybe the orange shimmer, maybe, not sure about an inner corner shade that's gonna go with this. We'll kind of, you know, deal with that when we get there. So I'm gonna start with the orange, which is called Firework. We'll see how bam in your face this is going to be. Gonna start just packing this in the front of my crease here with my Rephr number 13. Sometimes I get questions about like how to spell Rephr, or like people don't understand what I'm saying, which I get it. Like I always just take it for granted that people know what I'm saying when I'm saying Rephr, but it's like R-E-P-H-R. It's kind of a weird spelling. But now you know, if you were wondering, these are the brushes that I just absolutely love. And this is very pigmented. Like this is more pigmented than I was expecting. I don't know why, but that looks beautiful. I am so excited to be playing more with this palette, you guys. I had such a good time in my first impression and I was really happy with the look that I did. And it all just kind of came together, and that's sort of how I feel with the Metropolis palette that I have as well. I don't have a ton of her palettes just because they obviously aren't that colorful, so I just have not, you know, wanted to spend that much money on something that's a half neutral palette that I know I'm never going to use half the palette of. But this, I was so excited when I saw this come out because this color story makes me so happy, and it's so, I personally love like how scattered this palette is, and the fact that it doesn't really make that much sense. I know for some people, like, they hate it. I've definitely seen some comments being like, I am so confused by this, I don't understand how to use this. But as someone who's not a very structured and organized person, like this is perfect for me because this is how my brain works. Like my brain is very scatterbrained and all over the place, and so is this palette. And I think that is why I like it so much, because in my head, like, this makes so much sense. So this is going on beautifully. I'm gonna take a little bit of this just in the front portion underneath my eye here as well, just about like halfway through. We'll see if I need to do any more blending with this orange when I'm done with the pink, but let's go ahead and move into the pink here, which is called Joker. Pretty sure I used this in my first impression. Don't remember exactly what I used in that look, but I think I dipped into this. So I'm gonna put that in the outer portion of my crease here. This is such a pretty color. I love pink eyeshadow, especially together with purple. I think pink and purple together are so beautiful, and so is orange and pink. They just go together very nicely. And since they are next to each other on the color wheel, they're going to blend together beautifully as well. Like you see just how seamless of a blend I'm getting between these two colors. That looks so nice. I'm gonna take this obviously underneath my eye as well and just kind of connect it in the outer corner and work on blending the edges. This looks really nice. I like this a lot. Let's go ahead and deepen this up a little bit. I'm gonna take the shade here called Magic, which is the dark purple in the palette. It's not really that dark in the pan, but I do remember it pulling a little bit darker on the eye, which I really like that in my mattes. Yeah, right away, as soon as I put it on the eye, like that definitely looks darker on the eye than it does in the pan. I love that. So I'm just packing this in the outer corner first, and then I'm going to work on blending it into my crease. Just gonna keep this where I have the pink. I don't really want to pull it over to the orange because orange and purple doesn't blend together as nicely as pink and purple does. So I'm just gonna put this in the outer corner of my eye here. I might end up putting a little bit of the purple dark shimmer over the top of this just so we can kind of see what that looks like. I'm also going to just wrap it around underneath my eye just so I can connect the outer corner. I always like to do that with the deepening shade that I'm using, to just take it a little bit underneath my eye as well, just so you can see it like in the whole outer corner of my eye, if that makes sense. When my eye is open, I feel like it all just kind of comes together a little bit more that way. But this is just working so well and is blending so beautifully. Like, this was so easy. Okay, let's see. What do I want to do on my lid here? I'm thinking I definitely need to work with, I could use this shade. That will look kind of cute, but since I want to use like more than one, I'm kind of thinking I want to do a lot. So I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to use this one dry. This one is called Act. And this is more of a satin formula, so I just want to use this a little bit on the outer portion here just to blend it into that matte that we have going on. And also just because I want to see what it looks like. So you can definitely stay on the eye. It's not like super impactful. It does have a little bit of sheen to it. It's a very true satin, I would call it, but the color is really nice. And I don't like satins. I'll make that very clear. But if there's going to be a satin in the palette, I want it to be one of the darkest shimmers because it is going to be the kind of formula that I'm going to want to blend into a matte, and usually that is something that is on the darker side. So I do think that this is going on the eye very nicely, and I'm also not having any fallout at all or anything like that. So that looks really nice. Let's see, I want to try this one. This one right here, that is so beautiful. This one is called Razzle Dazzle. I'm gonna try to just spray this because I'm too lazy to look for my glitter primer and it's not right in front of me, so that's just what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna put that in the middle of my lid here, kind of a little bit over that shade that I just put down. This one is way, way, way more metallic. That is really, really pretty. It has little glitter particles in it, which I love that. So I'm just gonna put that in the middle here, drag it outwards, and then a little bit in towards the middle or the front as well. This shade is beautiful. I really like that. Okay, so to finish off, do I want to just use the orange? I think that is what I want to do. I kind of wish that this one wasn't so green leaning gold. I feel like it would have gone better with like the warmer tones if it was more of a warm gold. But it does go nicely with the greens though, so I guess maybe that's why. I could probably use this, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and use this one. This one is called Cannon. This one doesn't seem to be as kind of glittery and sparkly in texture as the other one. I'm gonna go ahead and spray this one as well, and we'll see what the difference in formula is like. I do feel like with Natasha Denona's palettes, there's always a couple of different shimmer formulas and textures in the palette. So I would describe this as a very basic shimmer, just like a regular shimmer. Just gonna kind of blend that into the orange that the pink that I put down, and also blend it into my crease. But I think this looks like a really, really nice gradient on the lid. So I think this is where I'm going to leave it with the shadows. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish off. I will come back, I will show you what I did. I definitely wanna do like some kind of an inner corner shade. I'll probably just pick a highlighter, but let me go ahead and finish it all up and I'll show you what it looks like. So this is the look all done, and I really like how this turned out. It might have been a little bit of a surprise to pair this with a purple lipstick, but I was looking over at my lipsticks and I saw this one, and I haven't worn this in forever. Like, this is one of my favorite lipsticks in my collection. I love this. This is Heroin from MAC, and I think that the color is just so beautiful. Like, it's a very... This sounds weird, but I feel like it's a wearable purple. Like, I don't feel like it's too much when I wear this lipstick. I just think it looks really, really nice, and I like it paired with this eye look, and like, since I had like purple going on, like, I feel like it kind of goes, and I really feel like it goes with background too. I really like this. So to finish off, I used some yellow in my waterline. This is Prance. No, that's not Prance from ColourPop. This is Punch from ColourPop. I just broke this, so I'm gonna have to buy a new one. Rest in peace. You did a good job while you were alive, but it's time for you to go. For my blush blush today. I'm wearing the Menagerie Arthurine palette, and I'm wearing two of the blushes here. I did have this on already before I started, but I thought I would just mention it. So I'm wearing this one right here, like kind of on the lower portion of my cheek, and then this one more like on the upper part. And then my highlighter today is Solar Sailor from Kaleidos. I also use that in my inner corner, so that's how I finished off. And I really like this look. I think it turned out so good. And I love just how dark and dramatic and rich I was able to get those purples, because in the pan they don't look that dark. I mean, the shimmer does, but the matte doesn't look as rich and pigmented as it does on the eyes. And I think everything just performed really well, and I'm having a really good time with this, and I love this look. I'm so excited to do more with this, and I think that all of 3 looks that I'm going to end up doing are going to be very, very different. At least that's going to be my plan going into the next 2, is to make sure that they're all like completely different looks, completely different color stories, and that you can really see like what you can get out of this palette. So I am excited to do another look. So let's just go ahead and move into look number 2. All right, let's go ahead and do another look. I am so excited. It's been like 2 days since I filmed with this because I had other things I needed to film in between. So excited to get back to this. I think for this look, I definitely want to use like the greens, but also this blue. So I'm thinking we can kind of play in like this family right here, and then with a pop of blue and maybe like a little bit of this one as well on my lid. I think that could be kind of fun. So I don't want to do like anything too crazy, saying that I'm probably going to end up using like 6 shades, but I'm going to start with this one, which I did use in my first impression. This is one of the cream to mattes as well as this one, so we're going to use both of those in my crease and just kind of see how they perform. But from the first time I used them, they performed very well, and this is a very, very nice pastel. It has a little bit of a sheen to it, but not enough that I would like call it a satin, if that makes sense. It just has enough sheen that it has a little bit more, I guess it has more binder in it, but it is also a cream to matte, so I don't know, it's a little bit confusing, but it's a really, really nice pastel shade, and I totally get why this is one of the not powder ones, if that makes sense, because this is the kind of color that usually is a little bit hard to formulate in a pure powder matte. But like, see how pigmented that is and how much that built up. So I'm just gonna put this in my crease as well as underneath my eye. I'm gonna wing this out a little bit because I just really like that look on myself. So I'm just like imagining the shade like just on its own, like all over the lid, kind of blown out as like a really, really cute spring look. Like that would be so fun. Like I don't really do a lot of like one eyeshadow looks, but like in theory, I like the idea of it, even though I just can't execute it, okay? Like it's just, I need more. I can't stick to just one shade. But in theory, that would be a really, really cute look. So I'm next gonna go into this one, which is also a cream to matte. This one is called Acrobat. Do you even care if I say the names out loud? I feel like most people don't care that much about the names, but maybe some people do. So I'm gonna try to say it because sometimes I forget. Just gonna start in the outer corner of my eye here and just blend this into my crease. This is such a beautiful color. I have noticed with her cream to mattes that sometimes I don't want to be like natural hair brushes are better, but like sometimes natural hair brushes pick up these cream to mattes a little bit better, or just something that is a little bit more, not scratchy. Scratchy isn't the right word, but something that's, there's something about natural hair brushes that just like grips onto color a little bit better. So maybe something that's like similar to this in shape, something a little bit denser, is going to be easier to be working with these shades, I feel like, if you're like struggling with maybe using this kind of a formula. I would definitely go with something like smaller and denser because it just makes it a little bit easier to work with. I love these kind of colors on myself. I think that they look so cute. So you can see I'm not like pulling these colors up like super far. I'm just pulling this darkest color up enough that you can see it when my eye is open. But I don't want this to be like a super blown out dramatic look. I do want it to be a little bit more of a spring look, I guess you can say. I think the best thing about these cream to mattes is basically that your look is never going to end up patchy because they are so buildable that if you ever have any problems, it's like not a big deal to layer them at all, which is really nice. So just to kind of finesse this, I'm just gonna go back in with that first shade and just run that over the edges and make sure that everything is nice and blended. All right, how cute is this? So next up, I will say, from looking at this shade, like in the pan, it's looking a lot darker. I don't know if it's because I paired it together with a super light shade that they kind of mixed together and ended up being a little bit lighter. That's probably what happened. I would like to use this just like on its own. Maybe I'll make sure to do that in my last look. Maybe I can use this along with, is there a matte that I haven't used yet? I don't think so. Maybe I can use it together with this purple and do like a purple and green look. Maybe that could be kind of fun. So let's see, for my lid, I want to use this shade, and this shade, I think, something like that. And then maybe in the last look I can dip into this one and this one. I'm not sure I've used this one yet. This is a satin though, which I'm not like the biggest fan of, especially like a mid-tone satin. So I'm gonna put down some glitter primer. I'm just gonna slap that all over my lid here. And we're gonna start with the dark blue, which I think is also more of a satin. Maybe somewhere in between a shimmer and a satin. Just gonna pick that up with the same brush, and I'm going to put that in the outer corner of my eye here. That is very, very nice and pigmented. It definitely is more of a satin formula though, but I would say it's somewhere in between a satin and a shimmer. But it's going to blend very nicely into my crease here, which is kind of what I want in the outer corner of my eye. Just want something that's easy to blend into the mattes. Don't worry, I will finesse the blend a little bit as we go along here. I'm just going to go into the next shade here, which is going to be the shade called Flip, which is a beautiful, is this a teal green? How would I explain this? I don't know, because I don't know how to explain colors, but I'm going to put that in the middle of my lid and blend it into that other blue shade. I mean, I guess this is a turquoise, right? Like in the pan, it looked a little bit more green, but I think on the eyes, it's definitely looking turquoise. Maybe it's just because I'm pairing it with these colors. All right, and then for the inner portion of my lid, I wanted to use this kind of silvery taupey shade. It almost looks like it has a little bit of purple to it. Is that gonna go though? I don't care, but I'm just gonna try it because I have to. And this one is called Aerialist. And I'm just gonna basically put that in the front portion of my lid. Very, very pretty color. I'm gonna blend that into the turquoise that I just put down. This one is definitely more metallic than the other two that I put on my lid. And I think I want to be fancy, and I'm going to use a little bit of the shade here called Snow Cone just on the front portion underneath my eye, because I love a little pop of shimmer down here. I think it looks so cute. And I also just want to put as many colors on my eyes as possible, because that is always way more fun. All right, so I think that's going to be it. I'm going to just finesse this a little bit, and I'll finish off and I'll come back and I will show you the look. Okay, so this is the look all done, and I love this look. I feel so good in these kind of colors, like these kind of minty blues. I think they look so good, especially like the contrast with my hair and stuff. I think it's just like, it's such a fun combination. So to finish off, I did a little bit of like dark blue / purple eyeliner. This is one of the fixed line eyeliners from Rephr. Really been enjoying these gel liners. I think that they're really, really nice. They're super easy to work with, like very, not liquidy is the right word, but they're very smooth. And I don't know, they just pick up very easily on a brush, and they're very easy to like spread out, and they dry really fast. Really been liking those. For my lips, I went with an orange because I just didn't know what else to do. So I'm using one from Udenside. This is one of the cream lip stains in the shade Sweet Tulip. Still can't get enough of these. I think these are really, really, really nice. So that's basically what I'm wearing. I love this look. Did I say that about the first look too? I feel like I did, but I think this looks really, really nice, and I'm super excited to do a third look. So let's see, what do we have left? I've kind of used, I feel like all the shades in the palette so far, so I should probably dip into some of the shades I haven't used that much. I mean, I haven't really used this pink, but it's very, very light. Like it's almost a little bit too light for me to know what to do with. I also haven't used this satiny orange, so maybe I will use that. I don't think I've used this shade. Definitely want to use this shade. I want to use the purple a little bit more. I don't know, we'll kind of see what happens when I do my last look, so I think we should just go ahead and jump straight in, because I am very excited to play more with this. I'm also very excited to be wearing this look for the rest of the day. Okay, so here's kind of what I'm thinking. Now, I don't remember what I just said, what you just saw. It's been like a week since I filmed, so I don't really remember where I was at with this palette, but I do kind of have a bit of a plan, and disregard everything that you just heard me say because I don't remember. I think I'm gonna try to use this color here in my crease as my kind of first shade and not as my transition shade like I did. Wait, that's wrong. I'm gonna use it as my transition shade and not as my second shade like I did in the second look, because I felt like when I used these two together, this one ended up looking a lot more kind of minty than it does like dark green in the palette. So I want to see just how green this really is. And I think I want to deepen it up with either this purple or this purple. I kind of want to do a halo eye, so that's sort of like the plan. And then I think I want to do this color like on my lid, so it's going to be quite a dark kind of dual tone look, and I think that's going to look really nice. So let's go ahead and start with this shade right here. And I just want to see how this color looks like on its own. So I'm just going to put this into my crease as my, you know, like I said, my transition shade. I'm going to keep the shape of this very round because I do want this halo eye to be more of a round shape, because I just feel like that suits me a little bit better. Okay, so it does have quite a bit of blue to it, but it's looking a lot greener now on my eye. I'm just really taking my time with this to make sure I build it up nicely, but also that I'm able to blend this out on its own, since I'm not going to use any transition shades with this. But this is just performing so well. I really, really enjoy the cream to powders in this palette. And I'm thinking I want to do the purple underneath my eye, so the same color that I'm going to have like on both sides on my lid. I think I want to do that under my eye, just so we can do something a little bit different. Just going to take a clean fluffy brush here and just run that over the edge so that the edge is nice and blended before we go in and deepen this up. Okay, so let's see. Do I want to use the shimmer or do I want to use the matte? I mean, I am more of a matte person, so I'm going to go ahead and use this one on the inner, that's not the inner, the outer portion and the inner portion of my lid. So I have used this before, but I'm curious to see like how this is going to layer on top of this color. I mean, these are going to blend quite nicely in together, and I know that this color is a little bit darker on the eye than it is in the pan, whereas I feel like with the cream to powder, it's like the opposite. So I definitely think this is going to be a very nice deepening shade. I would say this is probably the color in the palette that has the most fallout, and it's not a lot and it does wipe away, but I do just want to mention it. That looks really, really nice. Just gonna put that in the front portion here as well and just make sure that it is nice and blended into my crease before we go in with the shimmer. Not connecting these in the middle because I prefer my halo eyes to be open in the middle. Just I feel like on my eye shape that just looks a little bit better. But if you don't have hooded eyes, maybe you could connect it in the middle as well. Just gonna run this color underneath my eye and just connect it with the outer corner of my eye. I'm not going to leave any space in the middle open under my eye because I find with halo eyes, I don't really like how it looks on my eye shape when I have like the lightest color in the middle underneath and on the top, because I just feel like it looks weird when my eyes are open. Since I do have such hooded eyes, it just looks a little bit strange in my opinion. Okay, so it's time for the shimmer, and I was thinking, like I was saying, that I want to use this color here because I just feel like it's going to look really cool with this. So that's basically what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I want to do for my inner corner. Maybe I can do like the light blue. It would make for a really nice contrast, or I can use the sort of silvery shade. So I'm starting with a gold shade here, which is called Grin. I am going to spray this a little bit. I do like to not use any glitter primer when I do halo eyes because I like to be able to really blend my shimmers into my mattes here. So just gonna start by putting that right in the middle of my lid and just kind of drag it outwards to the sides, and then I will blend it into my crease as well. All right, so the shimmer is down. I'm gonna go back in with that purple and just pull that back over so we get a good blend between the two colors. Okay, so I think this is where I'm going to leave it with the lid shades, and then let's see. Maybe I will take, I feel like it would make for a nice contrast to use this in my inner corner, so that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do. This was the shade here called Snow Cone. I'm not gonna spray this. I don't want this to be super intense. I just wanna have, you know, a pop of something very light in my inner corner. That's really fun. I actually like that a lot. I feel like that makes for a really nice contrast with the gold. So let me go ahead and finish off with my eyes, and I will come back and show you the look and give you my review on this palette. Okay, so this is the completed look, and I really like how I finished this off. I feel like it all just kind of came together. So what I did is I used a little bit of yellow in my waterline. This is the Raw Beauty Christie collab. eye pencil from Colourpop. It's in the shade Marigold. I don't know if it's available anymore. You're just gonna have to check my link if there is one. For my blush today, I'm using a new one that I bought from Moira Cosmetics. I think that's how you say it. They came out with these beautiful sort of ombre blushes. Like, look at this. Look at how pretty this is. Like, can you see the imprint? And like that ombre, oh, I love it. These are so beautiful. I wasn't sure if it was going to go with the look that I had on today, but I just really wanted to use it and I love it. I think this is awesome. I bought another one as well, which I haven't opened yet, but this is more of a pink blush, which I love pink blushes. So very excited to be using that as well. For my lipstick, I wanted something that would kind of play off of the color of my sweater, but even though it's in a little bit of a different tone, but I feel like it just kind of pulls it all together. This is Story from Rephr. It's one of the Samantha the March collab lipsticks. This is a beautiful color. This looks so good on the lips. I love this. Let's see, did I do anything else? I think, oh, I'm also using Electric from Bitterless Beauty as my highlighter today. So let's kind of run through my thoughts on this palette here. You've seen me use, I think, all of the shades except for probably this one, which, I mean, to be fair, is just not a color that I am ever going to use because it's simply too light. But I haven't had any problems with any of the other shades. I think this one maybe I haven't used either, which is sort of like a satin orange, which you guys know satins aren't my favorite. And I also have a corresponding shimmer, which is like a metallic. So this is just way more exciting to me. Let's see. Everything else has performed really, really well. Do I think this palette is worth $128? Probably not. I mean, I feel like we all have colors like this, and I don't feel like the formula is so spectacular that you can't get this for like a cheaper price. I do think it's a very, very solid palette. I'm very happy that I have it, but I wouldn't say that you should like really save up to, you know, buy this palette, because I feel like you can get cheaper options that are going to be just as good. But if you like Natasha Denona and you just want to try one of her palettes and you don't mind, you know, paying a little bit extra for the name or the experience of using something that's, you know, maybe more expensive than what you normally use, then I think you're going to really like this. I do think it's a really nice palette. I love that there is a giant mirror in here. Like, this would make for a beautiful travel palette. And I also really like that all of these shades are magnetic. Like, that's really nice, especially if you have more than one Natasha Denona palette. You can like mix and match them, which is really, really cool. Probably not something that I would ever do because I'm way too lazy, but like I could actually see myself like bringing this palette traveling along with like other things, because it has a really, really nice color story and there's a lot that you can do with this, and all the shadows perform really well. And I would feel very confident that if I brought this, I wouldn't have any issues and that all of my looks would turn out really good. So I do like this palette a lot. I think it's beautiful, but it's obviously very, very expensive, and I don't think that most people probably need this. But, you know, if you have spare money, you don't mind spending extra on makeup, then you'd probably like this palette. That's basically where I'm going to leave it. So yeah, I do really like it, and I'm very happy that I have it in my collection. And I am so glad that Natasha Denona came out with something a little bit more up my alley, and that's very colorful, because I feel like that's something that was maybe lacking a little bit in her collection. But I get it, you know, they want to make wearable things that more people are going to buy, and that makes perfect sense if you're a business and you want to make money, because not everyone is like me and want to look like a clown all the time. So that's basically going to be my thoughts. Let me know which look was your favorite. I feel like they didn't end up being like that different. I wanted this look to be more different to the second one, but I also just really wanted to play with these colors. So that's just where we ended up. So that's gonna be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you want to see another 3-look video that I have on my channel, maybe go watch this one, and if you're new, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.